Hey guys, it's Bianca Sophia. So, alright, so, Halo wants to come through again and speak about, his distortions, right? His distorted, his, whatever the hell you want to call them. The distorted versions of him, right? These ones that are causing all this chaos, right? And then, yeah, it was like, okay, he's showing me, like, this is so cool. Okay, like, you know how, your veins, your blood, right? Your veins, how they start, like, off as one, and then they break off into others, right? Like lightning, like that, too. That's so cool. And as it trickles down, it becomes more and more and more, right? And sometimes there's like two, you know how there's like veins that like there's another vein next to it that also breaks off, right? There's another vein, and those veins, I don't know why he's showing me like this. It's interesting though, right? There's like two veins next to each other, and I guess they, I don't know, they join or something. So it's like all his brothers and sisters, right? They're all like lightning bolts or whatever, veins or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? And then it trickles down and trickles down, and then they also cross, right? So like crossing DNA, right? Like mixing the genetics, right? So then not only do you have a bunch of distorted Lucifers running around, but you have a bunch of distorted Michael running around. Faith, Ariel, excuse me, Raphael, right? All the other archangels that you know of, right? So he just wants to get into that, I guess. So hold on, I'm gonna pause it, and then he'll come in. Hey guys, it's your favorite guy. You know I'm your favorite. Don't deny it. I am your favorite. Well, I will be. It's so funny how things work out, isn't it? When you find out, in the end, the truth of everything, of all of it, I'll be your favorite. I'm just playing around. But I did want to talk about something serious. We're gonna get into some serious issues, but I'm gonna try to keep it like light, because it's the dark stuff, right? The stuff that the people that are sleeping, it's the subject that throws them into cognitive dissonance, yes, where it's too hard on their soul. Yeah, they cannot even fathom that anyone would be so cruel, right? The funny thing is, they don't realize it's the reason they're kind of running and cowering in fear over it is because they're guilty of it. Yes. You don't want to look at the horrible crimes you've committed in the past, right? Or in somewhere along the lines, right? And they've forgotten that they've committed such horrible crimes, right? Right? You're probably wondering, wait, what are you saying? Everyone's guilty of horrible stuff? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes. If you're here and you're listening to this, you're an asshole. I'm sorry, I have to lighten up the mood, right? You are a sadistic fuck. All right, but maybe I was a little too hard about that one. Too much, right? Yeah. I sometimes go a little bit too far. I mean, have you seen the place? Have you looked around lately? I go a little too far, right? And this is the result, right? How do we get this group of beings out of this delusion, right? Out of this, how can we get them to evolve, right? without infringing on their free will. This is a whole paradox, so I shouldn't. Let me go on. Just know there's lots of paradoxes in this whole cosmos, right? You'll learn them as you get higher, as you ascend. You're like, wow, the paradoxes are everywhere, right? Yes, they are. But like Bianca has mentioned before, when you look at it from the top, it all makes sense, doesn't it? Man, our throats. Hold on. They definitely don't want me talking about this, They meaning myself. It's just so weird, isn't it? You get used to it. So, how do you wake up a group of beings that are they're stuck, right? They can't evolve. They won't evolve because they're stuck. They're stuck. I don't know what else to say. Like that 8 of Swords card, right? This is humanity, right? Or was humanity, is humanity. It's the past, it's the future, is it? I don't know. Where are we? I don't know. It's the past. For me, it's the past. For some, it's the present. For some others, it's the past. For some others, it's the future. It's very, like I said, it'll make your mind go a little crazy, yeah. So, to get humanity to evolve, yes, we had to spice things up a bit, We had to poke them a little bit, right? Hey, wake up. Poke, yeah. Hey, psst, wake up, yeah. I mean, you can tell them all day, and like I've said before, you can tell them all day things about what's really real, right? And they'll look at you like you're crazy, right? No, that can't be true. No, stop it. They rather live in a delusion, right? They want to live in a fantasy. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe what you tell them, right? And it got a little, it's like, it went on for too long like this, so it really got stuck. So, we had, or let me say, creator, yeah, had to send in someone, right, to spice things up a bit, like I said, yeah. And I was the lucky person. I was the lucky being, right? Like I said, I fractalized into this realm, right? Okay. Now. Okay, I gotta be careful about what I say because we don't want to get this taken down. We want to keep this channel up, and Michael is doing a good job keeping that up. He's working. We both are, but Michael is more, he's good with the internet stuff. I am too, but I'd rather mess around with people. I'm just kidding. Or am I? So, unfortunately, trauma was introduced, right? Yes. Trauma. I know. Yeah, we're going there. Bianca's got to light up a cigarette for this one. Hold on a second. Wow, the noises. So, since humanity didn't want to do anything, we didn't want to have to wipe them out again, right? And plus, humans were created for a reason, a very special reason, right? Is to fix or rip in time-space, really. Okay. So they were created to become angels, right? I know. So since they weren't doing the correct things, they weren't just stagnant, right? Stagnant. Kind of had to get in there and, like I said, trauma trauma-based mind control was introduced. Yes. The splitting of the mind. Yes. Now, when the human mind or the human being is traumatized, yes, their mind splits. And I think Bianca's covered this, but I guess I'll cover it again, because I'm not sure if who's listening to this, if they've listened to the past stuff or not, right? So, what happens is a human being is traumatized to the point where their mind splits, yes, and they create a fantasy world. At this time, this fantasy is created by their handler, which all slaves, MK Ultra slaves, have a handler, okay? They have a programmer, yeah? Okay. Now, this person is, they have a fantasy land, more than one, okay? Depending upon whatever they're going to be programmed with, yes? So that person has a fantasy that is created for them, that they escape to, so they don't have to be there for the trauma, right? And guess what? They're not there for the trauma, right? Because we don't want to hurt you guys, yeah? So who is there for the trauma, right? Well, when an altar takes over, that altar is soulless. It has no soul, right? Because your soul is in this fantasy that was created for you, right? So your altar is the one that takes on this new trauma, right? And it's programmed to do really not good stuff, right? Let me give you an example, like in the past, because I told you this stuff is not going on anymore. What you're seeing is an illusion, okay? To wake humanity up, we had to keep it going, right? We have to make people believe in those people that have not been caught by the light yet, that are running around, that are still in the dark, yes? We have to make it look like it's still going on to them, too, so they are caught as well, yes? Okay. So, what would happen in the past, okay? But like I said, time is weird here. It's, you guys have weird, it's weird. Everything in the higher dimensions, that's all happening now, okay? And you'll learn that as you ascend. So, let me give you an example, okay? We have, let's call him Adam, yeah? Just because Adam and Eve in the Bible and all that, right? Okay. So let's just say there's this, I'm not saying Adam was traumatized, hey, but I'm not saying he wasn't either, right? Let's just say this person's name is Adam, right? Okay. Now Adam was programmed to assassinate a president, yeah? Okay. Now, so, his handler, right, will either say a word to him or say a sentence. Back then it was done on the phone. It was also done in person, right? Now you guys, like later on, it was a lot easier. We had technology that you blow your mind. We could just like Bianca said, like she was wondering if, I wonder if they're shooting signals from satellites. And yes, that's exactly what they were doing. They could activate slaves through satellites, right? It got very high tech, very it was high. Like the technology involved in this was very, I don't know, I can't find the word to use, but you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Hold on, the cigarette went out. God forbid. So, this Adam, right? He assassinates a president, right? Excuse me. Yes. Okay. But it wasn't Adam, was it? Adam's, he's going down, hopping down the yellow, I don't want to say it, but the yellow road, yeah, from Wizard of Oz, yeah. Okay. You never know if there's any leftover programs. I know that spell and all that was broken, but some people just to hang on to that programming, even though they don't have to. Some people hang on to that programming, right? the magic's gone, right? But sometimes people just snap. Yeah. So, Adam assassinates a president, right? And like I said, the real Adam, his soul, the part of him that has a soul, was doing what? He's fucking having fun with Dorothy and Toto, right? Meanwhile, his body, right, that has no soul, is committing horrible treason, right? Yeah. So, it's very complex, and if you guys know about this, some of you might, some of you might not. Excuse me, throat, man. Like I said 100 times, I'll keep saying it. It doesn't help that they smoke all the time. So, now, I want you to look back on these last years, yeah. Like I said, more recent, it's an illusion, but before that, right? What was going on? Crazy stuff, right? Right? Like the uns, yeah? The people hurting people with uns, yes. Children, of course, too, right? Yeah. All of them, except the more recent ones, were performed, I guess you could say, by an altar under ultra programming. Yes, all of them, all of the traumas that you see in the media, right? All of them. Yes. So, like I was saying, let me go back here for a minute. Let's go back to when you tell a human being that, these crimes that people are committing, that they're being done by our own. Yes, it's too much for them. Or the stuff with the babies, which we'll get into. Yes, unfortunately, I don't want to, but I need to clear the air with that too. Yes. So, when they hear of these things, they can't imagine anything so horrible happening, right? No way would anyone ever do that. Why would anyone ever do that, right? And what do? The same thing that the slave did, right? They go into a fantasy world. They rather not look at it, right? It's a different version of it, yeah? Like Bianca said. So, it's like, when you're first awakening, right? You find, wow, that evil does exist, doesn't it? Wow, I cannot believe there's evil like that, right? And it's hard on the heart. It's, you go through the dark night of the soul. Bianca likes to call it the dark life of the soul, which I agree with her, yeah? Lives, I guess, not just one life, right? You find that this evil exists and it's too much, yes. But if you dig a little deeper, and a lot of people don't keep digging, right? You find out that evil didn't have a soul to begin with, yes. They were altars doing these hideous things, right? Like a robot, yes. And it just, and you're like, what is all this for, yeah? And it's, like I said, it's very complex, right? But what did it do? I just want to ask you, what did it do? What did these things do? It shook the place up, didn't it? Yeah? It shook. People started to what? They started to awaken to the truth. They said, wait a minute, something's not right. Something's not right, right? Now, let me move into the babies and the pedophilia, yeah? Now, that also got a little out of control. Yeah, yes. Bianca's pausing me. Hold on. She doesn't like this subject, but I feel I need to touch on it. I need to. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Sorry about that. She had to grab another cigarette. Oh my goodness, gotta smoke. So, now before I get into the baby stuff, back to these soulless beings, right? How do you get a soulless being to do something, right? Well, you infest them with AI, yeah? Excuse me. AI, yes. AI was introduced, which I'm sure most of you know that by now. We had to have something do these things, I guess you want to call it, but not be too badly damaged, I guess you could say, right? And what could we do to not completely destroy our souls? Yes. Well, AI, right? Because AI, they're robots, right? They don't have a soul. They can do something without emotion in it. Do you understand? Right? Because if you were to take the most evil beings, right? The most evil MK Ultra, or shit, I keep saying MK Ultra. Oh, fuck, I said it again. Ultra slaves, yeah. And if you were to look within them, in their bodies, you would see they're infested with AI, right? So these, these AI beings, they did the job no problems, right? And why they did their jobs, right? The person, the original being, the soul, didn't have to be there, right? But he would later return, or she would later return, right? Not knowing what the heck happened, right? And yes, there are demonics. That's another subject, but there are entities out there, yes. They are attracted to AI. They're attracted to negative. They're attracted to that energy of fear, of negativity. That's how they're able to attach. Yes. AI and demonics go hand in hand. But there's also good AI. Let's not go down that road yet, because that's another whole nother story. Let's go to the babies. I know I really wanted to cover this because I know people. Excuse me. There's the Luciferians, right? There's the Satanists, right? And yes, the ones of the darkest Luciferians. Yes. I am not a part of that. I just want to let that be known now. Okay. Now, are those beings that are involved in all that, are they aspects of me? Well, yes. Everyone's an aspect of me, so yeah, But yes, there is a being, okay? There's a being out there, right? Let's call him my darker twin self, not Michael. We all have a twin, okay? Let's say it's like a parallel Earth, right? And that parallel Earth there's like you have the light side of you, and then you have the dark side of yourself, right? Okay. So there's a dark aspect of me, right? Excuse me. And what that being is a distortion of myself, right? Infested with AI, yes. Okay. Now this being doesn't feed off of organic light, yes. The creator. See, listen, people think that the creator cut them off, but that's not the way it was. That's not the way it worked, and that's not what happened. They cut themselves off from creator, right? And it went on so long that they forgot, just like you guys, yes, they forgot that there was an organic light. They got lost in it, just like all of us do, yeah? So, you have this distorted version of myself that's not healed, right? That's only way for it to live is by feeding off of others' energy, yes? Off of fear. And just sick. Let me say it again. Sick. Right? They feed off of just negativity, right? And negativity and fear brought on by whom? Right? The human. Because the humans are what? They are an angelic race, yes? So, they couldn't get light from the Creator. They could, but remember, they're lost. So, and they can't get it by doing what they're doing. So they had to survive. The only way they could survive was by feeding on the next best thing. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Right? They feed off of humanity's negativity. Okay? And it's since their energy, human beings' energy, is from the Creator. Directly from the Creator. Yes? Source, Creator, Spirit at the highest level, the Most High. Yes? So, when that type of energy is in fear, right? And they feed off of that. That's how they survive, right? And since they're feeding off of only fear, that's what continues. Chaos, that's what continues. Because that's what they're feeding on. Yes? Excuse me. They don't want to feed off of love, right? They find that weird and uncomfortable because they don't know what it is, right? They don't know what love is. They are distorted, yes? And they're infested with AI. That when they were programmed, that AI was programmed in fear, yes? I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so I want you to imagine a child, a baby. Okay. Some people might not like to hear this, especially if they don't know about this, right? All your precious celebrities, right? All your precious politicians. I mean, they're all involved in this shit, right? I hope you know that by now. So what were they doing, right? Okay, first of all, you have beings in the fourth dimension. Yeah. Well, this is the past now. You have beings in the fourth dimension. Those are the ones I'm speaking of, like the distorted version of myself, who was calling himself Lucifer, right? And Moloch, yes, and the Baphomet and all these other freaking creeps, right? Okay. And it's like a cycle, right? The parents were doing it to their children, and their children were doing it to their children, and their children were doing it to their children. So the cycle had to be stopped by somebody, yes? It's like, but where does it go? If you go back to the top, where does it lead? So you can cut that cord, right? Yes. So, I mean, it was one of those, it was just a bad cycle, right? And it was like, how the hell did we get out of this, right? By infiltrating the dark, right? Which I already talked about. And we'll go back into that too. But let's go back to the babies, okay? Now, since humanity, over time, started to become the same as them, right? Started to become distorted. They became infested with AI, right? So, the humans, right, that were basically the children of these fourth dimensionals, yes, they also fed on humans' energy, right? But they fed on it in a different way, yes. They had to feed on it in a different way. And what way would that be? In the physical, right? Energy in the fourth dimension is energy. But down here, it's what? Yes, DNA, yes. Okay, so, and remember, they needed this to live, right? They needed this to live. What did they need to live? They needed a innocent, right? non-infested human DNA, right? Right. And what did they do to these children and these babies? And I know it's hard to hear, it's hard to talk about, but I need to get it out. These children and these babies were traumatized, right? Yeah. Horrible acts were done to these children, yes. They had to get them good and traumatized, put fear in them, right? Because remember, they live off of fear, right? And this would get the adrenaline pumping, right? And that would go into the blood. And that's when these creatures, because that's what they are, the creatures, posing as humans, but they are humans. That's another story. Let's not go down that road yet. They had to drink when the juice, let's call it, was hot, right? Hot, right? And activated with what? With fear, yes. And what did this do? This kept them alive. They can't live without it, okay? They can't. They can't. Do you understand how they're surviving now? So what do you think is going to happen to them, or what do you think is happening to them now that their supply has been cut off? All right. So when you hear these stories of, when you're just waking up and you find out about the whole child sacrificing, yeah, it's pretty hard, isn't it? Right? And how their god is Lucifer, yes. They are obsessed with Lucifer and Satan, and that's their god, and Moloch, right? That is not me, you guys, okay? Okay, that is a distorted version of myself. The me that's talking now I've healed since, yes, I've transmuted. I've become a seraphim, right? And now I'm coming back down here to kick my own ass, right? And Michael's ass, right? The distorted versions of him too. We all got distorted, all of us. If you're listening to this, you were doing this shit. Sorry to tell you, you were drinking that. Yep, yes you were. I don't want to hear it. Yes you were. Excuse me. Especially if you're a super soldier and a light warrior. Some of you are like, no way. Yes. Okay, now the newest light warriors, the newer ones, the kids, no, they're new. They weren't a part of this, right? But the ones that are listening to this, you're guilty. You're fucking guilty, so stop it. I'm trying to make you laugh. I mean, this is some sick shit. You gotta laugh. You gotta try to find something to smile about, right? And how about smiling about this? The shit's done. It's over, okay? Like I said, what you're seeing is a show, okay? Let's see what I'm at. What time here? 33. Oh wow. Okay. I gotta stop, you guys. But I'll come back. There's gonna be a part 2 in regards to this. You'll be hearing a lot from me, because that's my time. It is my time. Yes. I love you guys. I love you with all my heart. I do. I love you. Like I said, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't be here, right? But I love you guys. You are a part of me, right? I love you unconditionally. I'm gonna go. Aw. Halo. Sorry, guys. My throat. Well, that's all I got for you guys for now. There's lots and lots of videos coming. I just don't even know how I'm gonna. I have like no space left on my phone, so I'm trying to figure out what. I gotta go back, get a new thumb drive or something. I guess I gotta do that somehow. I'm sure it will all work out, right? All right, you guys. Swords up, shields up. Let's get it.